when you start to work through the math of what's going on here, you can see the political landscape changed. The headwinds became tailwinds. The capital markets aligned. They're aligning behind the ETF providers. I mean, BlackRock has had record flows.
Incredible, yeah.
Right? And MicroStrategy has record flows. Our option interest surged to like $100 billion.
Right.
And our liquidity surged to the point where we're the number 3 stock after NVIDIA and after Tesla. And so the capital markets discovered and supported Bitcoin. The political system did. And now we're starting to see the dominoes fall. I mean, the favorable comments by Jerome Powell, not a surprise.
Right. He's a smart guy. I mean,
and everybody else, it's you can see at this point the consensus is building. This is a global monetary asset. It is worthy of attention. If it's not going to zero, it's going to 1 million.
Yep.
And that's where we find ourselves today.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, Michael Saylor dives into Bitcoin's monumental rise past $100,000, MicroStrategy's bold Bitcoin strategy, and the vision for a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Let's catch up to hear his insights on crypto's future.
I laugh. Dave Portnoy complains about buying it at 10 and panic selling it. And then he's like, oh, I bought it at 40. And I hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
All these things. And now it's 100,000. And what I've said, and I said this to Tucker Carlson on television, I said, I'm going to be buying the top forever. I mean, here's what I tell you. When Bitcoin's $1 million a coin, I bet you I will probably buy $1 billion of it at $1 million a coin, probably in one day.
Yep.
And when it's 2 million, I will probably be doing it again in one day. And when it's 10 million, I will be doing $1 billion or more in one day, right? And so we're not stopping. The big idea here is there's $450 trillion of assets in equity, real estate, fixed income that's store value assets in the 20th century economy. There's $2 trillion in Bitcoin in the 21st century economy. We're the bridge. We're going to continue to create Bitcoin-backed securities to channel that capital from an inefficient energy form to a more efficient structure. If I give you $1 billion and you invest in a diversified portfolio of African real estate companies and equity investments, that's a very inefficient portfolio. If I take the same $1 billion and I pull it into Bitcoin and I eliminate your counterparty risk to every country in Africa and every company and every currency in Africa, that's a much more efficient thing that gives off energy. So I don't see why we wouldn't just keep growing every year forever. There'll be a point when Bitcoin is a $300, $400, $500 trillion asset class. And maybe there's, if I don't know if it'll ever equalize, we'll see. But I mean, this will probably be 1,000 trillion and this will be 500 trillion. And there's still going to be normies. There's still going to be people that are like, I'd rather buy my government bonds,
right.
or the government told me I had to capitalize my bank on the bonds, or I want to buy this. There's still going to be that. There's always going to be, in my opinion, there's going to be a spread between, say, the S&P. If the S&P is 15 and Bitcoin is 60 to 60, I think the Bitcoin is tracking toward the S&P, and the S&P is going to track up because the S&P companies will flip the whole Bitcoin.
Yep.
But there's always going to be this risk premium, which, theoretically is up to 6%, because of the counterparty risk of you've got an attack surface, you've got a company, you've got a currency, you've got
Management risk, et cetera.
all this.
Yeah.
And as long as that risk exists, there's always going to be some kind of arbitrage opportunity.
Bitcoin's price has surged by 2.65% in the last 24 hours, reaching approximately $102,645 as of December 14. A significant catalyst for this upward movement is the inclusion of MicroStrategy into the NASDAQ 100 index, a prestigious list of the top 100 non-financial companies on the NASDAQ exchange. This development highlights the growing integration of cryptocurrency-focused enterprises into traditional financial benchmarks, a move that has far-reaching implications for Bitcoin's market dynamics. MicroStrategy, an enterprise analytics firm led by Bitcoin advocate Michael Saylor, has seen its valuation soar by over 500% in 2024. This meteoric rise stems from its aggressive Bitcoin accumulation strategy, with the company holding over $40 billion worth of the cryptocurrency. MicroStrategy's market cap has grown from $1.31 billion in 2020 to nearly $100 billion today, surpassing the thresholds required for NASDAQ 100 inclusion. Analysts suggest this inclusion could create a positive feedback loop, where institutional buying of MicroStrategy shares indirectly boosts Bitcoin demand. Bitcoin's recent gains also coincide with a sustained wave of inflows into U.S.-based spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETF. Between late November and mid-December, cumulative flows into these ETF climbed to a record high of $35.60 billion. Institutional interest in Bitcoin has further intensified, with major acquisitions such as MicroStrategy purchasing 21,550 BTC and Marae Holdings acquiring 11,744 BTC in December alone. On the governmental front, Senator Cynthia Lummis has proposed establishing a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, with plans to accumulate up to 1 million BTC. States, like Texas, are pursuing similar initiatives, with lawmakers emphasizing Bitcoin's potential as a reserve asset without using taxpayer funds. These developments underscore Bitcoin's growing appeal as a hedge and store of value at institutional and governmental levels. Despite the bullish momentum, Bitcoin's price action remains constrained by a rising wedge pattern. This technical setup suggests a potential pullback to $97,500, with further downside risks toward $89,500 if the wedge resolves bearishly. However, a breakout above the wedge's upper trend line could invalidate this scenario, paving the way for further gains reminiscent of previous market behavior.
Look, I would just focus people on my 21-year forecast as it goes up 29% ARR on average, which means it's 60% grinding down to 20% over 21 years, and it grows to 13 million a coin, and it grows to 280 million in the asset. And of course, there's plus or minus rails. There's the bear case, and then there's the bull case. It could go faster. It could go less.
By the way, you did put out a great model, which is on GitHub.
But yeah, it's Bitcoin 24. You can download it. You can plug in your own assumptions about everything, come up with your own model. But, I'm focused on the 21 years because I think that's as much as any politician, any business executive, any normal investor can manage. And I'm sure that if I'm lucky enough to be in good health, I will come trot out in 21 years and I will give you the next 21-year model. And that will be a much better articulated, more nuanced one that'll take into account the 8 billion robot flying cars, and all the other stuff, the telepathic DNA, nanobot, inlays we have. But right now, I think that that's enough.
Yep.
And you can imagine and build any kind of business and chart a strategy for your family, your business, or your country based upon that model, which I think is beneficial to most people.
Elon Musk's escalating feud with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has ignited a wave of criticism from influential figures, including Ripple's chief legal officer Stuart Alderoty, venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya, and political leader Vivek Ramaswamy. The debate centers on allegations of corruption and overreach within the regulatory agency, with detractors accusing the SEC of partisan tactics aimed at silencing or slowing down individuals like Musk. The controversy gained momentum when Musk shared a letter from his attorney, Alex Spiro, on his social media platform, X. The letter accused the SEC of orchestrating a prolonged harassment campaign against Musk and his companies. Spiro highlighted a 48-hour ultimatum issued by the agency, accompanied by threats of fines or charges. Additionally, he referenced a subpoena targeting him under coercive threats and an investigation into Neuralink, questioning whether these actions stem from internal directives or political influences, such as the White House. Palihapitiya criticized this SEC's resource allocation, calling its actions ridiculous and wasteful of taxpayer funds. He warned that such unchecked authority enables partisan bureaucrats to exploit legal technicalities to undermine their opponents. Ramaswamy echoed these sentiments, accusing the SEC of undermining trust in the rule of law by bending its regulations in unconstitutional ways. Ripple's Alderodi reinforced these concerns, pointing to court rulings in Ripple's own case that criticized the SEC for prioritizing desired outcomes over legal fidelity. With SEC Chair Gary Gensler set to step down in January 2025, the agency faces a potential overhaul. Paul Atkins, a proponent of crypto-friendly policies, is poised to succeed Gensler, marking a possible shift toward lenient regulation. This impending change has sparked optimism among crypto advocates, though critics fear a reduction in oversight. The unfolding battle between Musk and the SEC continues to highlight broader tensions over regulatory authority and accountability. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.